Hey everyone, and welcome. I'm Soldier Livity, and you found the place where stories meet strength. Eve, every victim empowered. This is our focus on her segment. She told him to curse God and die, but was Job's wife actually the first woman in the Bible to try and save her husband from his pain? What if her anger was just misunderstood love? Imagine losing everything, your kids, your home, your wealth, and then watching your faithful husband refuse to break. Was Job's wife a victim of her grief, or was her frustration a raw, honest outcry that modern women can still relate to? Every woman in the Bible has a voice, even the one who spoke just a single harsh sentence. Why do we judge Job's wife for her moment of brokenness? And what does her desperate plea teach us about our own faith when life falls apart?
Okay, let's dive in. Today we're looking at someone who, well, gets a really bad rap historically. Job's wife.
Often just gets labeled the impious shrew, right? Sort of a footnote to Job's piety.
Exactly. But when you actually dig into the sources, the story is much more complex. Our goal here is to maybe reframe her famous outcry.
Not as just, a failure of faith, but maybe something deeply human, a reaction to just unbelievable trauma.
Yeah, because you can't just jump to Job 2.9 without seeing everything that led up to it.
Absolutely. The context is devastating. She's not just standing by, she's right there in it with him, co-suffering, total annihilation of her world.
And it starts with just the most horrific thing imaginable, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. The loss of the children.
All 10, suddenly, violently. We sometimes gloss over that number, but 10 children gone.
The maternal devastation is, well, it's foundational. That kind of grief, the shock, maybe even guilt, the sheer injustice of it, it dwarfs losing property.
And in that world, in the ancient Near East, that wasn't just personal grief, was it? It hit her identity.
Directly. Her whole standing, her value as, the matriarch of this prominent family, it was tied to her children, to the wealth.
So losing both at once.
It basically erases her social identity. She becomes a nobody, maybe even someone people whisper about, spitefully.
So she's already lost her children, her status, and then the final blow. She has to watch Job.
Right. She's still there, watching her husband disintegrate, literally, with these awful boils, the agony.
You can imagine the caregiver burnout, that feeling of helpless, protective agony, watching the last person she has suffer endlessly.
It's described as pushing her past human limits, and it's then, from that absolute rock bottom, that she says the line.
Curse God and die. The line everyone remembers.
But here's where it gets really interesting linguistically. The word translated curse.
Yeah.
It's the Hebrew word brak, which literally means...
To bless.
Well,
that's counterintuitive.
Totally. So the scholarly thinking is it's a pious euphemism, sort of like how people might say shoot instead of,
Okay, so the writers avoided the actual word for cursing God.
Seems likely. They used its opposite, relying on the sheer awfulness of the context to get the real meaning across. Despair.
But there's more to it, culturally.
Yes. In the ancient Near East, actually, cursing God, blasphemy, was often seen as a capital offense. Something that could bring swift, maybe divine retribution.
So if she tells him to curse God...
She might not be focused on theology. She might be urging him to trigger an ending, a way out.
Like provoking God into action to end the suffering. A sort of mercy-killing plea.
Exactly. A plea for a judicial release, you could call it. It reframes her words entirely, not as impiety, but as this desperate, maybe even loving attempt to stop his prolonged agony. She can't bear to watch it anymore.
Wow. That puts a completely different spin on it. And the irony, then. Job immediately calls her foolish for saying it.
Right. He rebukes her. But she was just the first one to crack, the first to actually say the unsayable despair that, let's be honest, Job was likely feeling too.
And the text itself seems to back that up almost immediately.
It really does, because right after shutting her down, in the very next chapter, Job opens his mouth.
Chapter 3.
And what does he do? He doesn't curse God directly, no, but he curses the day he was born. He longs for death, for oblivion, in this incredibly powerful poetic language.
So he basically articulates the exact same desire she just expressed, the wish for it all to end.
Precisely. His elaborate lament echoes her raw, blunt demand. It kind of validates her in a way, shows her outburst wasn't unique wickedness, but a very human response to unbearable, seemingly pointless pain.
She just didn't have the energy for poetry, maybe.
Maybe not. She just spoke the raw truth of the moment.
And interestingly, she does reappear, doesn't she? Or at least her presence is implied later.
Yes, in the restoration at the end, Job gets new children, 10 more, and the implication is she's the mother.
So she endures. She recovers. Her outburst wasn't her final state. It was a moment of acute failure under impossible pressure.
It suggests resilience. And it really forces us, I think, to swap condemnation for empathy when we look at people experiencing extreme trauma.
So the takeaway for you, listening. Her story, maybe, is about endurance. The mother of endurance, perhaps.
I like that.
It teaches us that real faith, real perseverance, doesn't mean you can't feel or express profound doubt or anger or despair. Sometimes, maybe that raw, honest lament has to come out before endurance is even possible.
That plea for death, viewed through this lens, it becomes this incredibly complex, maybe even loving act born from shared agony, a challenge to easy judgments.
Definitely something to think about.
And that brings us to the close of our Misunderstood segment for today. I'm Soldier Livity, and I'm so grateful you took the time to join me here on Eve Every Victim Empowered. If you enjoyed taking this female-led perspective, diving into the Bible and exploring the stories of our sisters in Scripture, then this is the community for you. Honestly, this is all new to me. Creating this space is the creative way I found to stay engaged and get closer to God, and I'm so happy you're here for the journey. To help this community grow, please take a moment to like, share, and comment below with what resonated with you most. And of course, subscribe to join me every week as we continue to seek empowerment and an intimate relationship with God. Remember the name and the mission, Eve, Every Victim Empowered. Until next time, stay blessed.